Um, so in any situation scenario whereby it is the citizen being forced to take a medicinal item by the state, uh, the question of what is protecting the rights of the citizen, because the rights would stipulate that the citizen will approach and go to. So there's already problem areas in terms of if you're in this sort of problem, consult this sort of agency type questions, where I think the media would do more honor to societies to discuss those, because they could be then they could actually say they were being informative. Number one, not that they couldn't reveal the details of a court case, and that made the journalist department bitter. So they decided to get a psychiatrist and spin off a Christian version of the account of the crime, while defending the biblical God at the same time, and who, according to Isaiah 45:7, would have instrumented their every crime by his will anyway. In any case, so there's questions of, if you have a problem of this kind, then the relevant agency to consult is this agency. But I think with people who are on forced medicines, and this is why I knew Capital Chemist will be the first to chicken shit and poof away the price, full costs of medicines on labels. Unless this is a joke and they're only doing it to me, I should check. But I don't think they are. They would be the ones to freak first, because, well, what I understand will open up in the dialogue of people is, well, what if the question on the health side is, well, what if genuine nutcases that need to be on these medicines are using these arguments to get off them? And that's where you say, well, that's why the counseling sessions in the doctor's room actually should mean something. Oh, but the doctor's very busy. He's got a trip sponsored by the drug company of blah blah farm. Oh, the blah blah farm conference. Wow. Well, then that's what they're supposed to be doing and doing all along. So, in a situation where it's the citizen that's disadvantaged potentially because a medication has been imposed on them, then as much information as possible as to understanding the nature of the way in which they are being underhanded should be made known to them. And that would include the knowledge of the full cost of the medicines being printed on the labels. But what Capital Chemist owners will start to do is go around saying to everyone, oh, look, if you unless you get rid of those full cost displays, they'll know that they'll know things like you don't want to prescribe dexamphetamine because it's shit cheap, or you do want to enforce fucking risperidone because it's profitable and lucrative, or paliperidone injections. So if in the event that the citizen is being wronged, then the citizen absolutely should be able to know how to say how and why they're being wronged, and who is to gain from them being wronged. I've already disclosed that one crafty argument that a pharmacist can pull that is a double cross is, oh, but you didn't get the medicine from our shop, so how are we to profit? And the owners invested directly in the manufacturing drug company. I'm out of time. 5-minute limits. Um, Two big reasons. Three, actually, I can tell you three reasons why there may be an interest in someone like my employer trying to make a study out of me. Is that my childhood circumstances are such that as far as how to live and what living life is about, there's really not a lot that I was taught. I was taught to have a guardian type role of my mother and sibling. I was not taught one lesson by my mother or father of blood. And I was not taught I also wasn't really taught about what sort of partner to choose and why and things like that. So I would be a proof that that bisexuality is natural, arguably. That I'm also an unbeliever, a religious apostate. I'll go as far as to say from what's known as a negative atheist, which is somebody who just refuses to, because we don't so much like our atheism taking up our time. Occasionally we do, and then that's when we might write a book, or occasionally there's too much of an advance in our lives and in our hood from the religious right, that in opposition to that we get inspired to create something. And so the psychiatric study of an atheistic unbeliever would also be on its own merits a reason why an owner of a pharmaceutical company who's interested in a bunch of studies like Roger Cocksucking, Tasmanian inbred, mother fingering, Mark B. Nelson Tall, and his partner Donkey New Zealand poop shoot sphincter chode banging Gary Cairns would as well. They're both Freemasons and belong to a discrete religion. The whole procedure, when they try and sit you down and say, now, when you think you have a psychosis, it's a lifelong thing, and will you accept it? You notice the epistemology of the conversation directly parallels a Christian trying to ask you to give your heart to Jesus. They just want you to say, I have this, and then it's amongst other things, it's a concession to forfeit the potential to even enter into, I think, legally it might amount to, various spheres of conversation, because they say, but it also then means, if I go out and punch someone on the street, there's to be more pity taken on me, for it was just my psychosis playing up. So I didn't want neither of those. Now, yeah, it's been very strenuous, and in a sense, I'm not very studyable on those grounds, because his whole here's your moral lesson. Like, I essentially have to, if there is an interesting enough one to come my way as a 36-year-old man, it has to by direct means and direct talking from people, indirect from the fucking door, because it's patronizing. I've probably studied more ethical philosophy theory than both my employees put together, with their dicks in each other's mouths. Now, yeah, they are soon to be sued to the fucking shithouse for about a decade. It's going to be fun suing a company for a decade. I hope it will be good for my health. Goodbye.